If you want to know the absolute truth about which tires will actually keep you alive when you slam the brakes at 70 miles per hour on wet pavement, do not ask the kid working commission at Discount Tire. Ask the guy with grease under his fingernails. Ask an independent mechanic who spends 40 hours a week mounting, balancing, and replacing tires on work trucks that haul 8,000 pounds of equipment through construction zones. These men and women see the catastrophic blowouts. They see the sidewall separations. They see the tread delamination that happens at exactly 32,000 miles right after the warranty expires. And if you ask any veteran mechanic what brand of tires they bolt onto their own personal trucks, the ones they trust to haul their families on cross-country road trips, you will notice a striking pattern. They are not buying the brands screaming at you from Super Bowl commercials. They're not buying the tires stacked at the front of the big box auto center with the flashy sale signs. They have a short list, 4 brands, 4 manufacturers that pass the test when corporate marketing budgets and sponsored influencer posts could not. Today we are opening that list. I'm going to walk you through the 4 tire brands that mechanics actually put on their own trucks. The specific engineering reasons why these tires survive when others catastrophically fail, and the marketing traps that are designed to rob you blind in the tire aisle. Brand number 1 on the trust list, Michelin Defender LTX. Walk into any professional mechanic's bay and you will see a pattern. The trucks they drive to work every single day, the ones racking up 80,000 miles, hauling toolboxes and towing trailers, are almost always riding on Michelin Defenders. This is not brand loyalty, this is survival mathematics. The primary engineering advantage here is Michelin's tread compound formula and internal construction philosophy. Most budget tire manufacturers use a single-layer tread block made from a soft, cheap rubber compound that grips well when the tire is brand new but wears down catastrophically fast. Michelin engineers designed the Defender with a dual compound tread system. The outer layer is a harder, longer-lasting, silica-based rubber that resists wear, but hidden underneath that hard cap is a secondary, softer compound layer that maintains traction and grip even after 50,000 miles of abuse. When the top layer wears down, you are not driving on bald rubber. You are driving on engineered grip that was waiting underneath the entire time. The second critical advantage is the internal steel belt package. Cheap tires use a single ply of thin steel wire embedded in the tread. Michelin uses a twin steel belt with a reinforcing nylon cap ply on top of that. This is a fundamentally stronger structure. When you hit a pothole at 55 miles per hour or run over a sharp piece of construction debris, that reinforced belt package absorbs and distributes the impact force across the entire tire instead of concentrating it at a single weak point. That is why mechanics see Defenders survive road hazards that would have blown out a cheaper tire instantly. And here is the part that actually saves you money. The Defender LTX consistently hits 70,000 miles of usable tread life in real-world mechanic testing. A $180 Michelin that lasts 70,000 miles costs you 0.25 cents per mile. A $90 budget tire that dies at 30,000 miles costs you 0.30 cents per mile, and you have to waste an afternoon getting it replaced twice as often. Brand number 2, BF Goodrich All-Terrain T/AKO2. If you talk to mechanics who actually use their trucks for work, who drive through mud, gravel, and torn up job sites instead of mall parking lots, you will hear the same name repeated over and over. BF Goodrich, KO2. The engineering advantage here is not marketing hype. It is a specific structural decision that separates this tire from every other all-terrain pretender on the market. That decision is the 3-ply sidewall construction with thick rubber protective layers extending from the bead all the way up to the shoulder. In a standard passenger tire, the sidewall is the weakest point. It is just a thin layer of rubber stretched over a single ply of fabric. When you scrape a curb, clip a rock, or drive over a sharp piece of rebar sticking out of a construction site, that thin sidewall tears open like wet paper. Your tire violently deflates and you are stranded on the side of the highway waiting for a tow truck. BF Goodrich engineers built the KO2 with a triple-layer sidewall. The inner ply is a high-strength polyester cord, the middle ply is a steel reinforcement belt, and the outer layer is a thick rubber compound specifically formulated to resist cuts, abrasions, and punctures. Mechanics will tell you directly they have driven over screws, nails, and jagged metal debris that should have destroyed the tire, and the KO2 sidewall held. The second advantage is the aggressive tread pattern with deep siping. Those thin slits cut into each tread block are not just for looks. Siping creates thousands of tiny gripping edges that bite into wet pavement, loose gravel, and slick mud. In real-world testing, the KO2 stops a full truck length shorter than a standard highway tire on wet roads. That is the difference between a close call and a total loss accident. And here's the honest truth mechanics know. You do not need an all-terrain tire if you only drive on paved highways. But if you live in a rural area, if you drive through construction zones, if you see gravel roads more than twice a month, the KO2 is not an upgrade. It is insurance against being stranded in the middle of nowhere with a shredded sidewall. Brand number 3, Yokohama Geolandar. This is the brand most people have never heard of, but mechanics who run heavy-duty diesel trucks swear by them. The engineering secret here is Yokohama's focus on load carrying capacity and heat dissipation, two factors that cheap tires completely ignore until they catastrophically fail under real-world truckloads. When you load a truck bed with 2,000 pounds of tools, equipment, or building materials, and then you tow a 7,000-pound trailer behind it, the tires are not just rolling. They are being crushed under massive vertical load while simultaneously generating extreme internal heat from friction. Cheap tires use a thin, lightweight internal casing to save manufacturing costs. Under heavy load, that thin casing flexes excessively. Excessive flexing creates friction. Friction creates heat, and heat is what kills tires. When the internal temperature climbs above 200 degrees, the rubber compounds begin to chemically degrade. The steel belts separate from the tread, the sidewall starts to bubble, and one day you are cruising down the interstate at 75 miles per hour, and your rear tire explodes like a bomb going off underneath your truck. Yokohama builds the Geolandar with a heavy-duty 3-ply polyester casing and an extra thick undertread layer specifically designed to dissipate heat. The thicker casing resists flexing. Less flexing means less internal friction. Less friction means the tire runs 30 to 40 degrees cooler under the same load conditions. Mechanics who tow heavy trailers every single week will tell you directly they have checked tire temperatures with an infrared thermometer after a long highway pull, and Geolandars are consistently 50 degrees cooler than the budget brand tires they replaced. That temperature difference is the margin between a tire that survives 60,000 hard miles and a tire that grenades itself at 25,000 and leaves you stuck on the shoulder of a freeway with a shredded carcass smoking on your axle. Brand number 4, General Grabber. This is the dark horse pick. The tire that does not have the marketing budget of Goodyear or the brand recognition of Michelin, but it has earned a cult following among mechanics who prioritize one thing above everything else: value without catastrophic compromise. The engineering philosophy here is simple. General Tire, which is actually owned by Continental, one of the largest tire manufacturers in the world, took the advanced rubber compounds and construction methods from their premium German engineered tires and packaged them into a mid-price American brand that undercuts the big names by 30 to 40%. The specific advantage is the Duragen dual-layer tread technology and the reinforced shoulder blocks. Cheap tires wear unevenly. The center tread wears faster than the edges, or the inside edge wears bald while the outside still has tread. This is not bad alignment. This is bad engineering. The tread blocks are not stiff enough to resist the shearing forces when the tire rolls under load. General engineers designed the Grabber with reinforced tread blocks that have internal support ribs connecting them to the steel belt package underneath. These ribs prevent the blocks from squirming and flexing under heavy braking and acceleration. The result is even wear across the entire tread surface. Mechanics report Grabbers consistently hitting 55,000 to 60,000 miles with even tread depth which means you are using 100% of the tire instead of throwing it away when one edge goes bald at 35,000 miles. The second advantage is the price point. A full set of grabbers for a full-size truck costs $600 to $700 installed. A comparable set of Goodyear Wranglers or Firestone Destinations costs $900 to $1,000. You are saving $300 for functionally identical performance and durability. Mechanics know the math, that $300 covers an oil change, a brake job, or a tank of diesel. It is real money you are not handing to a marketing department. The mechanics know the truth. The entire modern tire industry is an exercise in selling you marketing promises and celebrity sponsorships instead of functional engineering and real-world durability. If you want to beat the system, you have to ignore the commercials, ignore the sales signs, ignore the influencer telling you to buy the same tires they got for free. Walk into a small independent tire shop, the kind of place where the owner has been mounting tires for 30 years, and ask them directly what they put on their own trucks. You will hear these 4 names: Michelin for maximum tread, life, and engineering depth; BF Goodrich for indestructible sidewalls and all-terrain capability; Yokohama for heavy-duty load handling and heat management; and General for the best balance of performance and value without compromise. You trade marketing and hype for mechanical survival, and you keep your money out of the hands of the corporate monopolies that are selling you engineered failure points wrapped in glossy advertisements.